All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for real people just like you and just like me. Valerie Bertinelli is mourning the loss of her ex-husband, Eddie Van Halen. And to me, it's getting a little uncomfortable. And I don't know, I may not understand this relationship. I may not understand mourning your ex-husband in this manner. And I understand Ed was, a bigger than life person. Let me dig into this a little bit. It's been nearly 4 months since the death of her ex-husband and close friend, ex-husband and close friend. Best thing you can do, by the way, is find a spouse that you can be close friends with. Because at the end of everything, when you get older, it's the most important thing, is to have a good friendship, to have things in common, to hang out and enjoy the same thing. So, highly recommended. Valerie Bertinelli shared how she's finding a way to survive this new normal as she moves through her grief. Now, I was wondering, is Valerie Bertinelli remarried? Did she remarry? Because Eddie Van Halen remarried, and I talked about Janie a few times on here, how Janie has lost 4 people close to her in like a year and a half or even shorter time frame than that. Just crazy. Mother, brother, father, and then husband, Eddie. So I just did a little digging here. Valerie Bertinelli got remarried. Valerie Bertinelli and her husband, Tom Vitale, have been married for almost a decade. After all these years, their marriage is still going strong. So she has a strong marriage to her new husband. And to me, I don't know if you don't block out all the stuff that happened prior, but that becomes less, and your new normal should be focused around your current husband. But it's almost as if, okay, there's this celebrity that passes away, and so many people loved him and appreciated his work as a musician that it somehow maybe carries more weight in your mind, and that thing is very important to you. I mean, I'm just trying to put these things together. Anyway, the actress, who is now 60 years old, went on Instagram Live to talk about her immense grief over losing rocker Eddie Van Halen and to empathize with others going through similar losses this year, especially in the wake of the pandemic. This whole year has been, unfortunately, about death and grieving and losing and loss, and too many people have lost too many things, Bertinelli said, speaking emotionally about Van Halen to mindfulness coach. This is something that most people don't have in their life. A mindfulness coach, her name is Angie Johnsey. All right, so this is very Oprah Winfrey-esque. I don't know too many people who can call and reach their mindfulness coach, but this is something that rich people, famous people apparently do. Van Halen died after a battle with cancer last year at the age of 65. The pair were married for nearly 40 years and shared one son, Wolfgang, who is now 29. Bertinelli described their relationship as messy, but the best of you gets remembered. Now, I'm thinking it was more than just messy. Otherwise, they would have stuck it out and stayed together and tried to do the best they could and set a better example for Wolfgang, right? This is how she remembers Van Halen. And yeah, they have some beautiful pictures together. They do share a son, which may be the reason that there's more of an emotional response here. But when these stories are written, it's almost as if Ed didn't get remarried and she didn't get remarried. That's how this kind of seems. And I didn't know she had gotten remarried, but she's married to somebody by the name of Tom Vitale. And Ed was married to Janie, and Janie was there during all of the really challenging times where Ed was struggling with his health and so forth. Bertinelli adds that she hopes to live on through her son Wolfie, like she has some kind of a death wish, and she's planning to just live on through Wolfie. I mean, she seems to be healthy, right? And she's married to Tom, and she's happy, and her marriage is going strong. Just, this has a weird vibe to it. Seems like it's written for somebody who never maybe got over that situation and is now admitting that she didn't get over that situation. Bertinelli and her son celebrated what would have been Van Halen's 66th birthday this week, writing in a post, "I will see you in our next life, my love." See, I couldn't do that when talking about an ex. And maybe this is maturity. Maybe that's what this is. This is just mature adults. I still love the guy, but I can't stay with him. So I'm going to get remarried, and I don't know if I would put that out. I would have just put out, hey, because what is my current husband going to think, too? I mean, wouldn't that be awkward and uncomfortable for Tom? Hey, you just called Ed your love, you know? Well, he'll always be my love. Well, what about me? I mean, anyway, Bertinelli told Johnsy she had been moving through the stages of grief and has been reminding herself that grief can be a lesson. While you're suffering, remember that good can come from this, she told the audience on Instagram, that you will learn a lot through your suffering. She also encouraged her fans to have patience with themselves, especially if they are also experiencing loss. These are all good things. It's just this relationship has this lingering sort of post-marriage, still married kind of feeling to it. I don't know how comfortable I would be even saying to my current husband, well, he's no longer here, so I can do that. You know, I mean, you could still be jealous over a relationship that can no longer happen because one person is no longer alive. I know that sounds just weird, and maybe I'm making too much of this, but reading this, it's almost as if, hey, he's a celebrity, everybody misses him, I want to get in on this too. I was married to him for 40 years, and I'm grieving, and my son is grieving, and we're all still basically a family, even though I've got this husband, and he had this wife. You know what I'm saying? So that's the best way I can try to describe this. And maybe it's genuine. Maybe it's real. Maybe it's authentic. It's still got a weird flavor to it. It's still kind of creepy to me. But, you would think the grieving stages after the divorce would have been like, okay, like I remember when, was it Sonny Bono died? And Cher had a breakdown. And Cher hadn't been with Sonny Bono in a long time. But it didn't go on for a very long time. You know what I mean? It wasn't in the news like day after day. This seems to be going on for a while. And didn't he like ski into a tree too, Sonny Bono? That was pretty traumatic. Ed was sick for a long time, and I'm sure Valerie knew. Janie knew. And so there was a long kind of wind up to this. In any event, the 4 stages of grief from the ex-wife, Valerie Bertinelli, who, again, when these two were married back in the day, this was like a really cool marriage. And it sounds as if maybe they should have separated for a while, got the counseling, got the help. Ed, if he was using substances or whatever, that's the thing, obviously that probably was enhancing the difficulties, we'll say that. And would have been cool. These rock and roll marriages, though, celebrity type marriages, really tough to keep them together. And of course, Ed has probably multiple temptations going out on the road as a rock star, and unfortunately, that is always going to be something. There are very few of these marriages that can withstand that. After reading Don Felder's book, with he and his wife for many, many years, and the ups and downs, and then finally, I think all that chemistry that was there, and the lack of trust, those things, the chemistry left and the trust wasn't there, and that was it. So, in any event, interesting story. I don't know if I should be creeped out by this, and I'm not totally creeped out by it, but, don't forget about Janie, right? Don't forget about Tom. Janie's been through an awful lot, and if anything, Janie should be sitting down with the mindfulness coach, because she needs probably a lot more help. Valerie is always going to have Wolfie, too. Whereas Janie does not have Wolfie. Janie does not have a child with Ed. And I don't know. It's just weird. But for those of us who just looking in from the outside, like myself, maybe I just don't have a clue here, and I'm just kind of saying a bunch of stuff that doesn't make sense. In any event, that's it. That's my video. Totally done with this one. And I know everybody in 2021 probably needs a mindfulness coach. Not sure how much they cost, but it might be worth the investment.